What's up, everybody? This is Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post, SCMP Martial Arts. Joined today by one of the newest faces on the One Championship roster, Lea Bivins. Lea, first and foremost, congratulations on signing with One. How does that feel to be a One Championship fighter?
Thank you. It's so amazing, honestly. Ever since I've been a little girl, I've always wanted to get signed for with one. So when I got signed, it was honestly like a dream come true. Some days feel so surreal too.
Right. Well, you mentioned, this being a long-term goal for you. Before we get into the debut itself, I wanted to ask you a bit about your martial arts journey for people that aren't familiar with you yet. So I guess first things first. I mean, how did you get involved in the martial arts? How did this journey start for you?
Yeah, my father was actually a professional fighter, and I would always go with him to practices. So I've been around jujitsu and rolling around on the mat since I was about 4, but I didn't really start competing seriously until about 10. And a few days after the July 22nd card, I turned 20, so I'll be have about 10 years of combat sports competitions under my belt.
Amazing. You're a lifer already. Jujitsu is like your first martial art then?
Yes, definitely jujitsu. I have a little bit of karate I did when I was a little kid, but as I got older, it transitioned into more Muay Thai and kickboxing. Definitely.
Cool. And you're a purple belt right now in BJJ?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. And you've got some amateur experience too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't do any amateur fights. I know a lot of the articles that I went 3-0 in amateur. I think they got a little confused with the IMAF. I was a gold medalist for the IMAF Youth Pancration and went 3-0 there.
Okay, very cool. So when was it exactly that you decided I want to be a professional fighter? Like when did that switch go off in your brain?
It was definitely probably, I would say, around 15 or 16 years old. I had wrestled for a few years and I love wrestling, one of my favorite sports ever, but it just wasn't the right fit for me. So I decided to start using my, wrestling and jujitsu and started paying more attention to my striking and taking some pancration fights.
You mentioned dad as a fighter. Now, obviously, fighting runs in the family. But was there any pushback from your parents when at 15 or 16 or whatever it was that you said I want to be a pro fighter?
Oh, definitely not. My dad was fully supportive of it. They're they would be fully supportive of anything I do as long as I put my all into everything. They always told me I could do whatever I want as long as I, put the work towards it and actually do the grind.
That sounds like great parenting. Now, I wanted to ask you about the time you've spent with the Lees. Obviously, they're a very important family in one championship. I know you've been out there to Hawaii a couple of times. What is the extent of your relationship with them? How much time have you spent out there, and what's your relationship with them like?
Yeah, definitely. I went out there once for Victoria, her first pro debut. I got to go out and get some work in with her, and that was amazing. Before that, we've known each other. Me and Victoria were on the same IMAF World Team in Rome that year in 2019. My dad would always show me Christian and Angela's fights growing up. They were definitely like an inspiration to my own martial arts journey. And then being able to go out there when Victoria was gonna do her pro debut and being able to see Angela. She was going to have her baby soon. And then we got to actually see them a few months ago at Nationals, and she has Ava now. So it was just a great experience out there with them.
Definitely. What was it like training with them in Hawaii? And how much confidence did that give you that you're ready to fight at the same level they're fighting at?
Yeah, definitely. They're beasts out there. They have a whole different training camp. They definitely push the pace. It's a really hard room to be in. Definitely, there's great competitors like you're with Christian Lee, Angela Lee, Victoria Lee, even Adrian Lee. They're all an amazing martial arts family, and it was really great to get that experience and that confidence.
Definitely, I can imagine it must have just been constant knowledge coming your way. Is there anything though, like off the top of your head, that you learned spending time with them out there?
Yeah, being out there, I learned a lot about. We have my family's a martial arts family too, so it was great to see another martial arts family and how they interact with each other, and they own their own gym. That was really great to see. I definitely learned a lot of great techniques out there as well. I won't say them on here because but I learned great techniques out there.
Cool. Yeah. Trade secrets. Understood. Is that how you got involved with One Championship? As I said, obviously they're very important to the organization. Did they help kind of connect you with One, or did that happen another way?
I think it kind of happened naturally with one. My dad and Chaudhry have spoken privately. But definitely, I would say, going with Victoria, and that she had her own media day when the cameras came out. But I definitely didn't ask for any handouts for them or ask them to get me signed. Definitely not.
Definitely, yeah, blazing your own trail. So when your father and Chatri kind of started talking about that, and eventually it all became official, how did that feel when you were finally a one championship fighter? It must have been very cool.
Yeah, it was so surreal. Like I said, some days just feel like, is this really happening? And it's just amazing to even be able to be signed. It was always one of my goals to be signed, with one. And so just having it happen is just amazing.
As we know now, you're making your debut on July 22nd, just a couple of days before your 20th birthday, as you said. The opponent is Zeba Bano from India, also fairly new to one championship. Before we get into all of that, I mean, just how are you feeling ahead of this debut? Are you nervous, excited? What are the emotions like for you?
I'm super excited, the nerves, I don't really get too many nerves so much. I think it is from my wrestling background, it's just another day at competition for me. But I'm so excited, I'm the first fight of the night, so I get to really set the pace for the rest of the card, which is really exciting to me. And just being able to compete on one of the biggest platforms ever is amazing.
Definitely. And what do you think of your opponent? As I said, she's fought in one once before. We don't know a ton about her. There's not a ton of tape available, but what do you know about her based on your research?
I have a really good camp and really good coaches. So we've actually watched a lot of footage on her. We put it on our big screen at the gym and we just go over and take notes. And then my training partners at the gym as well that are in my fight camp designated to just my fight camp, they come in, they take notes, they simulate what she looked like during sparring rounds. So just I think she's a really tough opponent, She looks extremely strong. Her striking looks really good and her ground game. So I think definitely the matchmakers that won knew what they were doing with this fight.
Definitely. She just fought Wonder Girl, who was also making her MMA debut. What did you think of that fight? And did that give you some confidence that, hey, I can beat this girl. Wonder Girl just did it. I can do it too.
Yeah, I don't try to get too confident. I don't want to be too cocky out there. The proof is in the pudding. It's just hard work. But I definitely did watch that debut of them, and they both did wonderful. I thought, and I thought it was a really exciting fight. Even afterwards, the sportsmanship that was showed, I think that's amazing, and it's not showed on a lot of other martial arts platforms.
Definitely. On that note, you're already striking me as a very classy young fighter, a respectful fighter, and I think that will make you a great fit for one championship. But having said that, if you can kind of put the humbleness aside for a second, how do you want to win this fight? How do you think you're going to win this fight?
If I had to picture it and everything would go out perfectly, obviously I would want a submission or a knockout, But if it does go the 3 rounds to decision and I do end up victorious, I think that would be amazing too.
Definitely. Now, of course, you don't want to, focus on too many things other than the fight itself. But are you thinking about, this being an opportunity to really introduce yourself to one championship fans, really make a splash and show everyone what you're all about? Or are you really just kind of zeroed in on the task at hand?
I feel like I said, the proof is in the pudding. I've been working extremely hard, 3 or 4 practices a day, but I'm excited, especially because I am the first fight. To just go out there and show all the hard work and everything I've been working for. I'm super excited for the fans to see what I've been working with as well. Especially Chaudhry, I really want to impress him and everybody else that's involved with the company.
Mhm. Now you're just 19. This is your one championship debut, pro debut. So, despite the fact that you've been in the martial arts your whole life, this is kind of the beginning of the journey for you. So this may be a dumb question, but have you kind of given any thought to what will be next for you after this, or are you just sort of taking the opportunities that they come at this point?
Oh, definitely. I've always been thinking about my future since a very young age. I always would want to continue to fight professionally as long as I can. It's really hard and intense on the body. So I know ideally that it won't be, my whole entire life. But I've definitely given some thought into what I want to do after fighting and
Mhm.
what those business ventures look like. And yeah, just excited for what the future holds.
But for the foreseeable future, the plan is professional fighter in one championship.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, when you look at the atomweight division, I mean, this is probably the best division in one championship, in my opinion. So many talented women in this division, other than Angela, who's of course an incredible champion. That goes without saying. Who in this division really impresses you?
Mhm. Well, obviously Victoria, her sister,
Mhm.
is incredibly impressive as well, and being able to train with her. Obviously Stamp is another one. She just fought Angela, I think, and she did amazing as well. I really think Wonder Girl. I'm not sure if they're in Adam with me, but they just fought a few weekends ago.
Mhm.
She's a really good opponent, and like you said, that division that I'm in is extremely stacked. I don't think a lot of other martial arts organizations have the amount of numbers in the atom weight that one does.
Mhm. Do you pay a lot of attention to the other women in your weight class? Like, are you watching these women, studying them, or do you kinda just do your own thing and focus on what you can control?
I definitely do. I watch a lot of footage. Obviously one fight at a time. I like to zero in on an opponent and watch footage, but definitely when the one championship fights are on, or I see an atom weight is fighting from one, I do like to tune in and keep tabs.
Mhm. Any dream fights for you in this organization when you look at that roster? Anyone you're really hoping to fight at some point?
Just as they come, I'm not too worried on calling people out, but a dream fight probably would be Stamp. I have a lot of respect for her, and I think her Muay Thai is great, and just to be able to be up there and with them would be amazing.
Cool, cool. Now, I hate asking questions like this because I don't want to stir up any drama or anything. But of course, you do have a relationship with Victoria and Angela. I mean, what happens if you guys come to a point where there's no other choice but to fight each other, say for a title or something down the road? Have you discussed that with them at all? I mean, what does that situation look like for you?
Yeah, definitely. I get asked this a lot,
Hmm.
actually. We haven't ever, me and Angela or me and Victoria, discussed it, but I feel like they feel the same way as me. We have a lot of love and mutual respect for each other. We're like family, and I'm just excited to be able to even be signed in the promotion. And obviously, Angela's the atom weight queen. So, and Victoria's right coming underneath her, and I'm just here to do my job.
Right. Well, let's talk about your job. What do you hope to accomplish by the time your time in this organization is over?
I would like to accomplish, I'd like to have a really good record. I'd like to get some really amazing fights in with some really amazing people and just be able to showcase my skills on, the biggest martial arts platform ever is just awesome.
And then on a more like immediate level, by the end of 2022, say, where are you hoping to be? One fight in, two fights in. Are you hoping to squeeze another one in before the end of the year?
I would like to have three in before the end of the year.
All
Obviously, that's
right.
fun and the matchmakers, but the more the merrier for me.
Okay, cool. Well, let me wrap it up with this. I know you're a busy woman. You've got a lot of interviews and stuff going on these days. For the people that don't know you, that haven't seen you fight, why is it important that they wake up early and tune in for your fight on July 22nd? Why are you somebody they should pay attention to?
I think they should tune in super early and pay attention because I am the first fight of the July 22nd card, and I promise to start the show off with a bang.